have the permission. Thank you very much. So, as I said before, I would like to welcome everyone at this second webinar. If you are new here, the first webinar was actually 2 days ago. And it was about the Lexis project and some different topics. But first of all, before starting explaining what it was already presented and what we are going to present today, I'm going to share my screen and present you what the project or the Lexis project is about. So let me just share my whole screen so you can see all of my presentations because I have a lot. So if you at any moment you want to interrupt me, just turn on your mic or write on the comment section. I will just make my screen full in order for you to see better. I think that everything is okay, that everyone can see. Thank you, Anne, for letting me know. I will start briefly with just explaining what the project is about, just to give a short introduction for those who are not there in the webinar that was organized 2 days ago. So the Lexis project, what is Lexis? Actually, it's about supporting teachers and especially English language teachers who teach English as a second language to upgrade their teaching and their learning techniques and their methodologies and practices for teaching English, especially to children with dyslexia, but also to children in general of primary school through the development of their own digital skills, but also through the promotion of digital skills to children. Why did we decide to do this project, to write this project, and why it was submitted and approved? Actually, it was because there was a big need of people with dyslexia nowadays, because actually dyslexia affects around 8 to 20%, so at least 1/5 of both adults and children across the EU. And also because we don't only target this group of people, but we also target the English language learning, which is really important because, as we know, English is the most spoken, let's say, among people language. Not only, I'm not talking about first language, but also as foreign language. So it's a really important topic and a topic that has a lot of need and demand. And also because English language can say someone that it's complicated when it comes to orthography and with spelling and pronunciation. So this shows a little more challenge, especially to dyslexic people. And also we wanted to combine this idea of digitalization and digital skills, not only for teachers, but for students. So these 3 main components were actually the 3 points that made the project successful. And we actually saw that it's actually really successful around all countries of the consortium. So the main goals of the project is actually to promote the English as a foreign language to children with dyslexia in order to promote inclusion of these people and also to allow them to learn in easier way. Also, it's for to provide tools and methodologies that they are up to date. They are not only the traditional ones that we have in our educational systems, but also something more targeted to these people, but also to the needs of the teachers. This also is combined with a digital transformation of teaching English language. So we have new digital tools. One of them was already presented in the previous webinar, which was actually the self-assessment tool for teachers. And this will bring more digital confidence to them through also the coding in Scratch. I'm sure that coding, when someone says coding, is quite tricky and maybe confusing, but Scratch is actually one of the, I will show you later on, is one of the simplest ways for teachers and students to create some simple and basic games. And also this will promote a more holistic approach, because we're not talking only about teachers and students, but also with parents, because they are also involved in this learning and procedure as supporters of the teachers. I'm sure you have already found who are our target groups. Obviously are the teachers and mostly the English language teachers that teach to young students around the ages of 6 to 12, and more specifically with these students that have dyslexia. Also with other experts in English language or speech therapies, all of them in expertise in this language. And also other target groups that we can mention as indirect. It can be the students with dyslexia of the ages that I mentioned before, and of course the parents. And also relevant stakeholders, that they can be educational centers or language schools, because in most of the countries around the EU, learning English is not enough in the traditional school, let's say. Students can be provided of classes also another time, in the afternoon. Then the Lexis team, I am Panagota, as I mentioned. I work at Emphasis Center, which is located in Cyprus. It's a training and education center. And our coordinator of this project is the University of Social Sciences, SAN, in Poland. Here with us today, we have other presenters from Lingua Consulting, which is a language institute in Poland, and also from Romania, we have the ABCD that they're going to present themselves, I think, when it was time for them to present. Also, we have a language school, Pelican, which is from Czech Republic. And the two Greek partners, Asserted Knowledge and the Department of Ministry of Education in Central Macedonia, in Greece as well. So this is more or less a presentation of the Lexis project. For more information about the project, we have our website that it has basic information of everything, of the project, of our results, of the consortium, and contact details for you to get in contact with us and learn more about the project or our work. Of course, this is something that you can find. I will share afterwards. Once I share my screen, I will share all the links with you, so you have them also. And I will continue sharing my presentation. Before going there, I'm going to just show you briefly the agenda for today. We have already completed the first one, that it was introduction of the project. I'm going to continue with the foundation of digital skills and Scratch games, as I mentioned, in our platform. Then I will give the floor to Lingua and then to ABCD to present their own work. If you have any questions, just let me know. If not, I will proceed with the presentation about the digital skills. So in this project, what we have developed, one of the many things actually that we have developed, is the capacity building professional development, for teachers, which is actually the material or the theory that we provided to them, the training pack with explanation on what dyslexia is, how to actually indicate and check if a student actually has dyslexia or is dyslexic, and many other topics. And one of them, as I mentioned before, it was the promotion of digital skills to students and to teachers. So that's why we wanted to include this second module, which is about the digital skills while working with students, and more specifically with dyslexic students. So this module was developed by us and by a certain knowledge, the Greek partner, the two more technical experts, let's say, that we wanted to actually promote digital acquisition and digital skills among teachers and students. And that is why we have this module. I'm going to briefly present it to you. And of course, in our platform that I'm going to share later, the link, you're going to find the whole module with all the details and all the links for you to click on and examples. So now it's just a presentation. Of course, if you have questions, let me know and I can show you any of the tools that I'm going to present now. So we all know that digital skills and digital devices are everywhere in our life. And actually, the European Union also recognize it also for the competences of educators. Educators can be experts in their field to know everything about it, but it's really important for them to also develop their digital skills, because education is no exception in this digital advance, let's say. So it's really important for them, not only for them to gain confidence, but also to be able to transmit this knowledge to students, because we know that sometimes students can be more competent and digitally literate than adults. So it is important for them to also include this kind of technology and digital devices also in class. But I know to keep it as feasible as possible, because of course there are some restrictions when it comes to using technology in class. So having digital skills can have a lot of benefits, and of course it can have more benefits when working with students, dyslexic students. So why? The benefits are a lot. We have, first of all, that it can help, it's easier for learners to learn better, because we know that they may have some difficulties to see something written in a piece of paper. So technology can allow you to make the material less overcrowded with a lot of information, with a lot of images. It can have more simplified and clear fonts with not a lot of colors, or colors that they are more easily targeted to these people. It can also help them to express their own opinions and to demonstrate that they have learned something or their expertise through digital skills. And also it can, online you can find many teaching materials that they are targeted to these people with more simplified vocabulary and interface. Some of the features here, there is a lot of different tools and examples that, as I mentioned, I'm not going to show you, but if you go to the platform and find this specific module, you can find their names, also some links, and you can check them on your own. So first of all, you can have more specialized fonts, as I mentioned before, that they are more easy to their eyes to read. Also, you can have more adjustable word and letter spacing, so you can space the characters and words a little bit more, and then for them it's easier to read with less effort. Also, you can adjust some colors, as I mentioned before, color of the background and also of the text. And it's really important to not have any distractions on them for them. So to remove the ads and to make it things more clear and more easy for them, it's really important. Other features is also the text to speech. So it reads out loud the selected text, and also it has the feature of highlighting the word that is being spoken. So it's easier to actually follow along. Also, there is the opposite, that it's here, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, actually, bullet point, that it's the speech to text or voice typing. So while I talk, automatically it can be written. So you narrate and then the text appears on the screen, which is also really helpful when it comes to spelling and grammar checkers, because students do not feel really frustrated, because it actually checks the grammar and the spelling. Other features, of course, is the picture dictionary. So it brings up an image of the world being searched. We have the ruler line tracker, that it can also be used to keep track of where they are on the specific page. And translation, which obviously it's really important also in our project, because we're talking about learning English as a foreign language. So it's obvious that translation will be used, a dictionary or something, for them to learn a new word. Another thing that's really important, and it's integrated through technology, is gamification. Among, I think, the traditional teaching, gamification was not even a thing to consider, but right now gamification is being required, as we know that the focus of people and attention span is even like lower day by day. So it's really important to have some gamified ways of learning. And it is not only beneficial for children with dyslexia, but with children in general, no matter their ability to learn, no matter their profile, their background, etc. Because it actually engages, motivates, and actually makes children think outside of the box. It helps them understand better the learning process, so it makes it a fun activity, and at the same time, they have some really clear benchmarks of their progress. And it helps them to develop some skills that they may have never thought that they can develop from these gamified procedures, as is the critical thinking skills, problem solving, even communication. Sometimes it depends on the game, for example, that is being used. Here, once again, we have some examples that I'm not going to emphasize now on, but you can find them, as I said, plenty of times in the presentation for you to check and see how to be used in your own classes. This is a Scratch that it's actually it's a programming language that I mentioned already, which is about how to allow users, either educators or students, to create their stories or their games. It's really easy to be used. We have also a short tutorial on how to use Scratch. It's on our platform as well, and we can share it with you. You can find it easily on how to develop your own Scratch games and allow your students also to create their own. So it helps them with problem-solving skills, once again, with creativity. I see that there is a comment on the chat. Okay, sorry. So good evening. It's not a question, I think, so it's fine. Yeah, so Scratch, it's really easy to be used, and we had a training here in Cyprus of English teachers coming from all the countries that I mentioned before, that they are part of the consortium. And in like 2 hours, they were feeling comfortable to develop their own Scratch games. I'm going to show you on the platform some Scratch games that you can even play on your own time. Yes. Also, gamification, it can be used in the assessment procedure. So in order to check if your participants or the students have learned something, and also to help them in a more fun way to learn something. I'm sure that you're familiar with some of them. So mostly with Kahoot, which is used by educators to easily create quizzes and to have a little, let's say, competitions between students. And the same features there, you can find them in quizzes, which is also something similar with Kahoot, with multiple choice questions. The first person who answers first the questions wins most of the points. And it's a fun way for students to have a short assessment. Also, there is Quizlet, which is also a part of assessment, but with digital flashcards, and also with some live quizzes, of course. These tools, they can be found easily online, and there is a paid and a free version. So check for the limitations that you have for each tool. Because some of them they have more limitations than others, with how many players or how many questions you can have in a quiz, etc. As I mentioned, sometimes there is a limitation when it comes to digital tools and digital devices in class. So for example, teacher can tell me that students are not allowed, especially in that really small age of 6 to 12 years old, as our project is about. They cannot find, they're not allowed, sorry, to use digital devices in class. So for example, they cannot use, I don't know, Kahoot or quizzes. So there is other ways of incorporating gamification in class, not only through digital tools, but also to give them rewards through badges or stickers or a certificate that can demonstrate that they have completed a task or an assignment. You can also incorporate them into this award process by asking them what they would like to be awarded with once they finish a task, or when they complete a game, for example. Also, it's really important to give them multiple attempts, to not penalize them after one wrong answer, and to incorporate feedback instantly. So once in Kahoot, for example, to allow the few seconds. So once they answer the question wrong, to be able to give them feedback and to explain why it was wrong and what is the right answer. Also, learning objectives to be like a quest. So to gain points once they complete something. Once I complete, for example, a quiz, I will gain this and this. And or once I learn the definition of something, or once I know how to translate in English a phrase or a whole text, then to have like a quest and an award. And also, it's really important to make the progress visual, meaning that if they have to complete 3 tasks, to have a progress bar, that it says that they have finished 1/3 of their tasks or 100% of their task, in order to keep them motivated and to feel like it's a game that they need to complete. That's it from my side when it comes to the usual, to the digital skills. Sorry. Once again, we have the consortium, and also here we have our social media and website that I mentioned before, that I will show you once I stop sharing my screen. And if you don't have any questions, I'm going to proceed with the Lexis platform. I showed you before the Lexis website. Here you have information about the project, but on our platform you have actually all the material that I mentioned before, that you can find it for free. So here it is. We have some basic information about the project. Here we have the self-guided tool that I mentioned before, that it was demonstrated in our webinar on Monday. So if you were not there, you can find it easily on our platform. You can click on it and see more information about it. And here we have the whole material. So the whole material is divided in different, let's say, formats of learning, of teaching. We have, for example, educational videos, that is actually a demonstration of what the modules are about. So it's in a more interactive way. Of course, here we have from introduction until topic 2, sorry, module 3. We have all the modules. They are divided into topics. And here we have all the theory that I mentioned before. This is free to use. Yes, of course, I saw the comment. So it's required to register. I'm going to show you the process in 2 minutes. We have also a short booklet. We have the learning nuggets that our partners from Romania are going to present later on what actually is. We have a tool bank with tools, and also we have here the Scratch games. So as I mentioned, it's completely free to be used, the platform, but it's important and it's required to have an account. So in order to create an account, you come here to log in and register. And if you don't have an account, you come to sign up, and here you need to enter all your information. And what is needed is actually a password, an email, a name, and a surname, and of course a username. Just anything typical that it's asked when it comes to accounts. But for me, I'm going to log in since I have already an account. Let me just remember my password. I did it yesterday, but still sometimes I forget, you see? So once you add your password, yes, you enter easily on the platform. Here, of course, we have different languages, but since most of you are English teachers, I'm sure that with English you will be fine. Here are the different modules. In order to enter the modules or the different formats, you click on the one that you would like, and here you have exactly all the documents that we have developed. So here is a competence framework explaining the different competences, let's say, for a language, which is pronunciation, reading, writing, spelling, and vocabulary, of course. Here are our modules. So as I mentioned, from introduction until module 3, topic 2, which is the main theory. Something that is really nice is a checklist, which is actually what we have developed about 2 different things. So it's a checklist for teachers to monitor whether a tool or some resources are appropriate for students with dyslexia. And we have some different sections and categories. And then there is a checklist for monitoring whether there is a likelihood of dyslexia for a student. It's really important, I think, to mention that you need the recognition, or to say that a child is dyslexic. It needs to be confirmed by a specialist, an expert, and not just by this checklist. This is just an indication and to show that there is likelihood. It doesn't mean that by ticking all the boxes that it means that your students have, for example, dyslexia. Also, we have this in our different native languages. So you have it in Greek, we have it in Czech, we have it in Polish, and in Romania, and yes, if I'm not mistaken. Then, of course, going back, we have also the Scratch games. The Scratch games, as I mentioned, is a programming language that it's used for making classes more interactive. So here we have Scratch games that were developed by our participants, as I mentioned, in training here in Cyprus. So here you can add, for example, your name, and then they're gonna have questions related to related to English language. I don't know how this actually works. Sorry, I'm going to try another one. I think I have already tried this one, but I will check the other one. So this kid here says, let's start playing, but then it doesn't start. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, apologies for this. I'm going to check this and come back to you because something is wrong. I have entered my name 3 times. Okay, so here it says, let's move the arrows to play. So here, for example, as you can see, it goes to the animal and you need to write the right animal. So this is easy for children to use. So for example, it asks, what is this animal? You say dog and says, okay, let's move to other one. So if you come, for example, to this one and you put a cat instead of an elephant, for example, it says, please try again. So it helps young students to learn English. So this is about the Scratch games. As I mentioned, you can find everything on the platform. Something that's really important, and actually maybe for me, because I entered all the modules to check if they are okay, you cannot find it. For example, here, this is the first time that you're going to enter to one of these different topics that I showed you. It will need for you to enroll. So here it says that you need to self-enroll. The only thing that you need to do is to click Enroll Me. And here you enter easily on the course. You're going to receive an email on the same email that you created your account with. Just to tell you that you're welcome to the course, for example, on this specific module. So, and then you have the modules, and here you have all the theory of your different, of the different modules. Of course, there is also some links that you can easily click on. Of course, here as well, you have some videos. Also, you can download exactly the same presentation that I show you. You can download it. There's no problem with it. The recorded session of the platform, if it's going to be uploaded, I think we can do that. Also, I think the whole webinar will be uploaded on the platform. But if you want for us to create just a tutorial on the platform, I mean, how to log in and how to create an account, it's super easy to do for us, so we can do it. There's no problem. I will just note it down and ask and discuss it with the rest of the consortium to see whether they would like us to make a tutorial. But if we do, we will let you know, and you will have a specific tutorial on how to use the platform. I will stop sharing my screen and I will stop talking soon because I think I talk a little bit too much. If you don't have any other questions, I'm really glad that you have already started asking questions in the chat. I will now give the floor to Lingua, who is the next presenter. And they're going to talk to you about the learning nuggets, what they are, and also the CLIL methodology. Thank you from my side, and thank you for paying attention. Magdalena, are you here? So maybe we can proceed with Angela or someone from ABCD and check with Magdalena, I think. Sorry, Angela, for this.
No problem, no problem. I will try to. So I don't have enough light, but okay. Do you hear me at least? So forget about the image. Okay, so I will start with sharing screen. Yes, this is my presentation. Okay, so my My subject is cooperation. I mean, our subject is cooperation with parents, and the second one refers to peers. As far as I'm representing now, for the moment, our ABC D, I will try to cover both items. So, and I have a little surprise for you at the end. Now, cooperation with parents. In this project, of course, we had our participation with different works, especially when we speak about the scientific part. I mean, the basis of dyslexia and whatever concerns dyslexia. Then, as we are an association specialized in dyslexia, of course, we brought our experience in Romania, but also shared with other associations from other countries that can, and our experience can maybe also be very helpful for the teachers. We are Association Bucharest for Dyslexic Children, as the name said, and I am the president of our association. My name is Angela Ioan. I am an actress by profession, and my main profession during last years is to be the mother of a young lady, a child, and then a young lady with dyslexia. We, as an association, we are a member of the European Dyslexia Association, which is an organization, an umbrella, European umbrella for national and regional associations specialized in dyslexia in Europe. One of the condition to enter this organization is to have an association where at least half of the members are parents. We are, as association, such an organization, so we have a lot of parents between our members, and also we have teachers, we have different specialists like speech therapists, psychologists, doctors, also persons who are working in different state institutions, trade unions of teachers, and so on. Some of the parents in our association are also teachers, so they have both experiences, and this is very important for us, because this is how we can have a correct balance between the needs of the two parts. One of the main goals of European Dyslexia Association is quite this: to promote cooperation between parents, teachers, and other specialists, with the common aim of supporting dyslexic individuals in their educational, social, and cultural development. Now, I will refer later to the relation between parents and technologies and digital tools and so on. First, I want to refer to what exactly we understand from the needs of a teacher when it's about having a student with dyslexia in the classroom, and this is why I will try to share with you some of our experiences. one of it is that during one of our conferences, when, of course, on dyslexia, we had the chance that the public was half formed by teachers and half by parents. One of our speakers, a psychologist who's also a dyslexic person, adult, made an exercise, and he proposed to all the participants to speak loud about their ideas about what happens in school when we speak about dyslexic children, what are their problems, what are their, if they are happy or are not happy, and so on, with what happens and how things are dealt in school. You cannot imagine what happened in a few minutes, as we are also Latins, and let's say a lot of power to impose our ideas, and in a few minutes it was impossible to hear something. Each one from the parents group addressed to the others with complaints, saying that teachers know nothing about dyslexic children and their needs, that they don't want to help, they are not open to their needs, they don't understand this kind of child, and they treat them as stupid and lazy, and so on and so on. And that they don't understand what happens with the child and what happens with his family. On the other side, the teachers, they also had claims against the parents, and they said parents want us to do their job, parents do not agree that the children have problems, parents refuse to bring them to be certified, first of all, tested and certified, and also to make some therapy. Parents have too many expectations from their children. Parents have too many expectations from us, and so on and so on. Then the psychologist put an end to this quarrel, and he said, well, on my left side are the parents, on my right side are the teachers, but I am between the two groups and I represent the child. Let's forget about these different positions and let's concentrate on the child. This was a kind of exercise, and I remember every time I have complaints, when I have meetings with different families or with teachers, I have in mind this, let's say, experience. Now, introduction to dyslexia and neurodiversity diversity in the classroom. It is a fact that, and I suppose it's not only in our country, I think it happens almost everywhere, that there is an increasing number of neurodiverse students. Of course, dyslexics, but also ADHD, autistic, and other kind of children with this profile. Of course, the number of special educational needs children is also increasing. Speaking about the dyslexic, is not that they are more dyslexic than they used to be. The number is the same because, you know, it's a natural born, let's say, condition. So it's only that with new methods, with better diagnostic tools, their number is increasing. They are recognized and they are considered like that. Then in this situation, in the classroom, teachers face challenges balancing diverse diverse needs. So on one hand, they have to respect their programs, the school demands, and whatever is, and it is also a great pressure at this moment. On the other hand, they have to face the challenges of the parents' expectation, parents of all these children. What is very important, coming back to dyslexia and also to other neurodiverse students, but I'm referring to dyslexics, as our project refers to early education, and this is the most important moment also for dyslexic to be identified, to be diagnosed, to try to make interventions. That's why it's very important to underline the importance of early detection and appropriate intervention. And there, this is where teachers have a very important part to play. So, the role of teacher in early detection. Teachers, and especially in primary school, are crucial in recognizing early signs of dyslexia. And during our project and on the platform, there are many informations that a teacher can use. It's not that they need to or they have to be a specialist psychologist. Of course, training is very important, but if they can follow this kind of training during with these platforms or other courses. We organized together with the Federation of Teachers in Romania, FSLI, we organized more training and courses and conferences where all these items have been very well covered. So the signs that any teacher could recognize, and symptoms like difficulty with reading, spelling, this is for English teachers, but even simple words, grammar challenges and struggles with phonological processing, and all the others which are on the list, and they can be very well recognized by teachers from the very early moments. This is very important, and I think this is one of the main thing a teacher can do also for the family, for the child, but also for the parents, if the parents are not aware about this, or sometimes they refuse it, as I said before. So the teacher, on one side, he has to recognize, or he should recognize the signs, and then when signs are observed, it would be good to encourage the dialogue with parents. I remember once I participated to a conference at the University of Bucharest, and before my intervention, we had a small pause, and I heard, nobody knew why I am there, and I heard a conversation between two teachers participating to this conference, and one of the teachers told the other how many efforts she made to convince parents to bring the child to be evaluated and diagnosed, because the teacher participating to different courses and trainings for about dyslexia recognized the signs. And she was so pathetic when she said, well, I feel very much emotionally involved. I have to convince the parents to do this, because I see that in my classroom I cannot solve all the problems, but I will insist the parents should make the steps necessary to bring the child and to have a good evaluation. Now, what else could be? Children with dyslexia, as we experience that, all the parents know this, need consistent support from both home and school. It's a common effort. It's a cooperation, it's mandatory. We cannot, as parents, we cannot ask school to do everything, but also school has not to consider that parents are the only responsible to support their children. They also have to train themselves to hear about, to try to find appropriate methods. Of course, parents, it happens, as I said, that parents don't notice early signs. It's a long story. I don't want to use your time to tell how many experiences and how many conversations I had with parents who for years didn't notice early signs. And then maybe sometimes it's too late when they observe that the child lost a lot of time and important steps in his development. That's why teachers could be one of the most important factors to raise awareness of parents. Then, sorry, once, let's say, there is a certitude that this is really a dyslexic child, next step is to understand this child. And teachers, with their experience as with their pedagogy and their experience with working with persons in development state, they should help parents to understand the learning style of their children. Sometimes parents don't know, try to find extra teacher to make extra teaching, but they don't know that this is not the right way. It is about to find the appropriate method, not to work much more, but in the same way. And of course, the vice versa. So also parents having the own experience from home when they continue to work with their children, they could also help teachers to better understand their child learning style, which can be very different from a child to another. Some of the methods, we have them in the booklet very well explained and detailed, how they can, teachers can engage with parents, they can share resources with the parents, so books, videos, digital tools, even what they learned or they might learn during this project. Also, they can exactly recommend some exercises that parents could do home to complete the work in the classroom. They also, communication is essential, and they should schedule regular meetings to ensure both parties are aligned on progress and challenges. And then to emphasize that the goal is to build a team around the child's needs, as I said when I told about that exercise. Also, we know that dyslexic children have great challenges when it is about learning. So the process is difficult for them, and they need support, very pointed support to learn. But on the other side, because they face so much lack of success and humiliation sometimes, and they also feel themselves as not corresponding to the request of the school, their self-esteem can go can be at a very low level. And this kind of cooperation between teachers and parents can prevent it with all kind of supportive environment and all the measures each one considers to bring the child to a normal condition and to raise his confidence. I will come a little bit later with an example of, I consider, a successful outcome of such a cooperation. Now, about peer support in the classroom. We are speaking a lot, talking about bullying. It is a huge interest for this quite now in Romania and maybe in other countries too. Children nowadays are used to be very direct with their peers. They are very much influenced by what they see on screens. Sometimes verbal violence, sometimes other kind of violence is present. Then sometimes children in the classroom have not all the necessary education from home to understand other needs, or I don't speak about tolerance. I don't particularly like this word. I mean, I would speak rather about understanding. And this is why the peers environment is very important for the dyslexic child. That's where I see also a very important role of the teacher, because he's leading the classroom. It's of course a challenge for the teacher. It's not very easy to cover also these needs of the whole classroom, but specific of the dyslexic child. Teachers can foster an inclusive environment where all students support each other. So not only supporting a dyslexic child, but also supporting other children with special educational needs, or generally all children should support each other, because even if they don't have special educational needs, they can have their own emotional problems, family troubles, all kind of things that can put them in a very sensitive situation. One of the ways to address to the peers would be to explain dyslexia to the classroom in simple terms, using examples like famous dyslexics. It doesn't happen as far as I know in Romania, or sometimes here and there, when parents can establish a good relationship with certain teachers. They sometimes use special time during the classroom where they discuss different things about the childhood, about their own problems, and then they can also introduce some informations about dyslexia. But I couldn't say this is a normality. It should be. And not only dyslexia. If we don't explain the children quite in the classroom, we cannot expect them to try and find informations or ask their parents and so on. We, as an association, we produce a lot of materials. We give them to the parents so they can also offer these informations to the teachers of their children. Sometimes time is not enough. Sometimes nobody has the enough resources, has no patience to address these things. It's a work in progress, and I cannot say we are already on the good way. what can be done without having very special arrangements in the classroom could be to work on groups. I remember once during a project we had an exchange with teachers from Ireland, and they told us how successful teachers are when they work on groups. And it seems that at least those who came here and participated, that it is a successful story. If we speak only about English teaching, English learning, teachers should identify peers with a strong English skills to pair with dyslexic students in group work. Of course, all these collaborative learning methods where students help each other are good not only for dyslexic. And of course, the ideal would be to create a classroom culture where differences are embraced and every student is valued for their unique strengths. Sorry. Do I still have time, Panayota?
Yes.
Okay, because I need extra 6 minutes at the end.
No problem.
So as a conclusion, my voice is leaving me. The power of teamwork. Teaching children with dyslexia requires a holistic approach. Teacher, parents, and peers all play a role. And collaboration is the key to building a supportive, inclusive learning environment. Now, because our project refers very much to digital skills to help and to improve the capacity of the capacity of teachers to face the challenges represented by teaching English to dyslexic students, and it was very well covered during this project. I selected a few slides from a questionnaire on the use of digital technology by children with dyslexia, which was in a survey conducted by psychologist Lorana Gavril. And I put here also a reference to the legislation in Romania from 2017, because for Romanian public, this legislation allows the use of plenty of digital solutions or whatever technology can bring as support for dyslexic children in the classroom, but also during the exams. So we have the legislation which allows a lot of things. Now, Lorana made this survey to see how many of the children benefit from what the law recommends and allows. There are three states. One is knowledge and use, demand and implementation, and usage and training. And here are some of the results. It's not my work, it's Lorana, so it's just a small example from that a speech therapist made from the work of Lorana. Now here we have some results about knowledge and use. With blue, we have heard about it but never use it. The questionnaire was addressed to parents. I forgot to mention this. So the blue heard about it, about all these digital supports, but never used them. It's not that Romania is a country where technology is not used. Contrary. at the market when I buy potatoes or what, everyone has a digital tool and knows a lot about using them. So it's not a problem about not having the possibility or not knowing how to use. The question was, do they know about the digital support allowed by the law and existent on our market? We have plenty of. There are some mentioned in the project when we had that tools research. So you can see how many with blue heard about it but never use it. Then with red know it and have it use it, and don't know it. It's with orange. Then we have another demand and implementation. The first question was if parents have requested the school to allow their child to use technological tools to reduce the learning difficulty they face. The answer with blue is yes. The answer with red is no. This is the result. The other one is if the educational plan, the personalized educational plan includes certain compensatory or accommodative methods that the child could benefit from at school. Answer no is red and blue is yes. So we have two phases. We are like back in at the beginning of my speech today. So we have two phases. On one side, there are the parents who are not enough demanded, asking the school to respect the law and to use and allow the children to use it. On the other side, the mandatory educational plan that should be immediately made after one child has the certification. So this plan, educational special plan, should include all these compensatory methods, so this technology and whatever is necessary. And the answer is also no, they do not have it. So I would say no one is doing his job. It's not to criticize now, but this is a real situation. And in my opinion, it's not their fault, it's not their fault. It's just that, today we published a letter addressed to politicians, to parents, to everyone, to try to take seriously the law we have from 2017, which has these opportunities, but we don't use them. And this is also, it should be a decision from the very high political level, from the Ministry of Education, who should decide to respect the law and allow children to take advantage of these technologies, which are helping a lot dyslexic children. Then the last one with usage and training. Children with certificate, yes, and no, they don't have the certification. The use of compensatory methods in school, yes and no. You can see with red, almost 96.3% do not use them. Whose fault is? We have to try to understand why this answer. Whose fault is, or where do we make mistakes, and what should be done to solve the problem? Also, training to use them, it's no, 91.2%. Yes, it's 8.8%. So now with this project, we have the possibility to change a little bit the numbers, and to have a more blue on this question. And now I want to present you a small testimony.
Hello, my name is Joanna and I'm from Bucharest, and today I'd like to share my experience learning English as a child. Reading in English was a huge challenge for me. Speaking was fun. I could understand people talking to me, but writing, dictation, especially in English, that was a nightmare. My first experience with English was in a Romanian school where the teacher only focused on grammar. She did no conversation, just grammar, grammar, and grammar. And let's be honest, grammar is not life. Before all that, I actually started learning French in kindergarten, having an amazing teacher. She taught us the basic, but more importantly, she had conversation. We learned how to speak and understand the language, and reading and writing was not yet the case. And now grammar, of course. Because I had difficulties with English in this school, my mom enrolled me in a private language course called LEXIS. It was great because we work in small groups, watching DVDs and prepare for A1 and A2 exam with Trinity College from UK. I was 10 years old when I passed those levels, which are the basics one in English. One of my teachers from Trinity knew I was dyslexic, and she helped me by explaining the questions in a way I couldn't understand. It wasn't about giving me the answers, it was about helping me understand the questions. By the way, if you hear a dog voice, that means my dog wants to speak also English, so don't worry about her. Then I switched to the Italian school. All things changed. I had a wonderful teacher who told me, hold on, grammar isn't everything. For the first time, I was introduced to English literature, and it felt like I was really learning English. Now I can speak Romanian, Italian, French, or even English. But grammar is still hard for me in any language. I still struggle with tenses like past continuous and future whatever. It's all very confusing, even in Romanian, my native language. Okay, let's go back to my English progress. Watching movies and cartoon in English helped me a lot. I loved having English subtitles so I could listen and read at the same time. It's so important to hear English and to understand. In Italian school, my English teacher had a great way to explain things. She put videos, make us listen, and use conceptual maps that helped me a lot. I also studied famous English writers and discussed with my classmates who helped me a lot. I started to understand the language better. Studying English in the Italian school was a very important part of my education. Later, I decided I want to be an animator. That's when I found SAE Institute, an American institute with campuses all over the world. I joined the Bucharest campus and it was amazing. We learned how to bring characters to life and how to express emotions like happiness or sadness through animation. After receiving my diploma at SAE Bucharest, I went also to another campus of SAE in Belgrade, which was also taught in English to prepare my bachelor. For my bachelor degree, I had first to pass the P2 exam in English, as SAE Belgrade belongs to a Hertfordshire University in UK. I tried doing B2 at Cambridge, but didn't pass the listening part because they spoke so fast like I speak right now. But later, when a different teacher spoke at more reasonable speed, I passed. At speaking, I did really well. Now, I sometimes mix English with Romanian when I speak, but I really love the English, especially the literature. It's my favorite part of learning English because the literature helps you to understand the essence of the language, not just the grammar. The grammar is important, but the literature is the heart of it. After all these years, I finished my bachelor degree with honors, and now I run my own studio. I do illustration, promotions, and even some educational materials for kids to help them learn English through fun animations. I believe kids should love this language because it's beautiful and so useful. Learning English played a huge role in my life, and it's important for everyone to know a language that the whole world speaks. It makes it so much easier to understand others. So that was my English journey, and I will say it again. I really love it. Thank you for listening, a dyslexic person.
So I wish to you happy Dyslexia Month because we just entered. Oh, do I have the microphone? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we just entered the Dyslexia Month. I wanted also to mention that this speech has been done like this. The young lady first used speech-to-text program. She dictated her ideas, and then once the program transferred to text her speech, she used her best friend Grammarly to correct her English, and then she tried to make an exercise of reading in front of the camera. So using different tools to improve her small speech. Now, I wish to you a happy Dyslexia Month. We just entered this month when 8th of October is International Dyslexia Day, and I hope all efforts that have been done and will be done in the future will finally change the knowledge about dyslexia, which is already, let's say, celebrating more than 100 years since it was known, but only these last 20, 30 years improved or brought a huge progress in finding solutions. And between these solutions, technology is playing the most important part. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela, for this really detailed presentation. It was really nice and really useful, I think. I was actually informed that there was a short misunderstanding with Magdalena, so she won't be able to actually present the two topics that I promised to you, so the learning nuggets and the CLIL methodology. However, I will be the one to briefly explain you a little bit about the learning nuggets and the CLIL methodology. But I'm not going to take a lot of time for this, probably like 5 minutes or so. So let me just reshare my screen. And I will go back to our platform. So here you can find the learning nuggets. That is actually something that we developed, and it's not for you to get hungry. It's actually for us to explain you what we can do through learning. So nuggets is actually like really short presentations of different topics to help students understand better, and also to include CLIL methodology in our practices. If you're not familiar with CLIL methodology, it's actually the way of including different ways of learning a new language, meaning that learning through history, through art, through cooking, the different let's say the vocabulary used in English language or in any language, but in a different way. So instead of having these grammar tenses, I don't know why this is not working, sorry. So instead of using grammar tenses all the time and making the classes boring, we use these learning nuggets to include CLIL methodology and also to help students learn through interactive material and more interesting topics. I don't know why the platform suddenly doesn't want to work. Maybe it's my internet connection. But we had, okay, let me just open the Lexis then. I mean the website, because we have them there as well. So for the educational pack, I think it works now. Yes, great. So for here we have the learning nuggets, a short explanation of what it is, and then the content is divided in different sections, in different units. I'm going to close it like this now for you to check. So we have, as I mentioned, different topics to promote language learning. So we have cooking, we have arts, we have science and biology, and history and geography. So nowhere here we mention grammar tenses, or we tell them you have to learn this vocabulary. We try to make it as interactive as possible for them. So by, let's say, explaining them eating healthy, so how to create and make a Greek salad. Also for arts, we have colors and emotions. So we explain to them with really simple pictures the different colors, so they know that this color corresponds to this word in English, and also the emotions. So through different emojis, we have shown them the different emotions in English, and it's really brief. So this is just a really short, a learning nugget, let's say, a really short presentation of what we have done. Also the same is for arts. So here we have the different forms of performing arts, and about music, and we have also some exercises. So for each of the topics that you will find also some exercises. And then going after, we have the science and biology. Here as well, we had some content about, if I'm not mistaken, it's about different animals, and also vocabulary related to action words. And there is also a game through Genially, which is a more a platform to develop more interactive presentations. And then you can see that there's different topics like time, the human body, endangered species, so animals, and we have weather and climate, and the exercises that correspond to each one. And lastly, we have for history and geography, some countries and their capitals, transportation, traditions, and then once again, the exercises. This is, as I mentioned before, in the platform, so you can find it there and use it. I mean, it's free to use. There's no problem for you to use it, so you can easily just share your screen and show it to the students on also get inspired and include some of these modules or some of these slides to your own presentations and in your own classes. So I'm combining both what is a learning nugget and what is a CLIL methodology, meaning to add different topics, but the actual aim to be to learn a foreign language, in our case to learn English. So I will stop sharing my screen. I will give you some time for any questions you may have for me or for Angela, or if Angela wants to add something. If not, once again, I would like to thank you very much for being here today. And the floor is yours. If you have any questions on the chat, please add them in the chat, or you can open your microphone. So if you don't have any questions, Angela, do you want to add something?
Yeah, hello.
Oh, yes,
Hello.
Effie, yes.
Yeah, hello. Thank you for so much for your very interesting presentation. Everything is so great. I'm actually wanna know some things about grading. How can we grade students like dyslexic students? For example, you know how we in Greece, how we, let's say 10 is, you know, the excellent student. Can we really, I'm waiting for your answer. Is it okay to put 10 out of 10 to a dyslexic student? Because I think I believe that he needs it. I'm waiting for your answer. Thank you.
Can I answer the question?
Yes, you or Lika, if she wants to answer.
If I understood correctly, the question is if we should put 10 out of 10 to a dyslexic student, even though his or her progress is not as the other students. Am I correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You know, I think that the first thing we have to do is to boost their confidence. So I think we should not put just 10 out of 10, but we should try to give more extra comments about his effort, his mood and his condition to progress. And maybe in some cases we can put 10 out of 10, but not to all the all the tests and things like that.
I see your point. Yeah, I see your point.
I think that the best thing we have to do is to write something instead of putting a number. And I think that
I totally agree with you. That's why I totally agree with you. But we have to put a grade. That's the problem. You know.
You mean for the tests?
Primary school. You know, primary school. Yeah.
Yeah. I think in primary school you have to put 10 out of 10 because actually you say that you feel that his effort is actually what it counts. However, you have to be fair to the rest of the class and the other classmates and put the right mark for them as well. But you have to make clear to the student and to the family that you actually put 10 for the effort and trying to boost his confidence. But as years go by, students know that his or her progress is not as for 10. And then gradually you have to be more realistic to the grades and to the comments as well. But for the primary school, I think it is very vital for the students to keep up and try to complete the questions and do something
Yeah.
something like that. I don't know if somebody else wants to add.
May I add something?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you.
Hello. Hello,
Hello.
nice to be here. Now, I've been a teacher since 1992, and I've graded with top grades students that were indifferent to my class, that were indifferent to me, and I had to remind them who I am and what my job was in the class. So that's not the reality, of course. I'm trying to focus on how we should grade. Yesterday, we talked about alternative assessment. Okay, so you don't actually give a dyslexic child a test and you expect the child to
Of course, we
perform.
don't give the same test, of course, yeah.
Yes, that means that the rest of the class may start asking questions like, why, Miss, did Yanakis John got another test instead of what we got? Maybe he's your favorite child, the teacher's pet.
But
No,
yes,
he's not.
but it's unfair for the dyslexic who is very intelligent. That's the problem.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
allow them more time. Allow them to have different alternative
Different tests.
testing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I see your point. Different tests. But the point is, the whole point is the grade. Because if he gets 8 out of 10, he will be, disappointed, a little bit disappointed. That's why I'm asking sometimes what is good for him. I tell you, but I tell you that I can, I put 10 out of 10.
I know, we all do.
And I'm very happy for them. I'm very happy for them, really.
I know, but the problem is that we focus on the grade, which is the final product, and not on the process. If you want an excellent student who gets high grades or she gets high grades, that means that we, the parents, and the student himself, herself, has invested time and effort to improve. Otherwise, we will have a child that will be entitled for the rest of his or her of their lives, feeling that since they are dyslexic, they deserve the world, or on the other end of the continuum, that the child feels that since he's dyslexic, he's a failure. They are a failure. So we have to counterbalance both.
Yeah, it's very difficult. That's what I'm saying. It's very difficult. That's why, because in the primary school, they need a little bit boost, a psychological boost. That's why I can put them 10 out of. Later on, it's not so, they cannot take 20 out of 20, for example. But you have to focus on the essence of, they have to learn. They have to love English, have fun with English. That's the,
That's the
I'm just
whole.
asking you. I'm just asking you that. Okay.
That's the whole meaning of Lexis. That we cooperate all together, and especially in Greece, that we know that we are unsupported by. Usually, we are unsupported. The syllabus, and how it works, because English comes very late at the daily schedule of the school, 5th or 6th period, like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, kids are exhausted. And I think that what you said had me in some doubt. But when I see their smile and when their effort gets...
That's what I'm telling you. Yeah. I really love this Lexis, this platform. I'm very happy for this. Thank you so much, really. And if you could please, promote this to the schools.
Actually, this is what we're going to do. You will receive
so much, really.
You will receive some messages for some workshops as well.
Yeah, thank you. It was very, very useful. Thank you so much. Thank you, and I hope I think that everyone should follow, his, let's say, his own kind of grading, but it's not the point. The point is to learn and love English. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Evangelia and Nigeria, for your comments and your passion in this project, because I work with both of you and I know that they are really, really passionate. And I would like also to thank Evangelia for the high promotion of this webinar to everyone being here. I mean, I'm really happy for all the participants that we have. But since I'm Cypriot and I understand Greek, I know that there's a lot of Greek participants here. So I would like to thank all of you for being here today. Do we have any other questions or any other comments? Yes.
I have a comment. We're talking about A1. And that
Yes.
means that we are very limited. So let's give English teachers in the rest of the world a chance to promote it to A2, B1, B2. And let's make sure that no dyslexic child gets to be left to their own devices. Because as Miss Angela said, she has a daughter. I have introduced myself as the mom of a long suffering dyslexic boy who managed to get proficiency, you know, C2, who managed, but finally what was left out of the whole story, a sense of bitterness, a sense of failure, and a sense that we worked and still he got very, very disappointed. Sorry.
Thank you very much.
So much.
So, is there anything else to add? Yes, Angela.
Yes, because I took the the ball. So thank you, Glikeria. You're absolutely extraordinary. And for me, I don't know in English. I know in German it's Vorbild. I don't know how to tell it try to find it in the dictionary. So about grades, it's a huge subject. In Romania, grades are now seem now to be the single goal of the school, of parents, of teachers, and this is disastrous because for all children it's not the right way, but for dyslexics it's a huge problem. If in primary school you can, as a teacher, you can find solutions to boost the confidence of children by giving them let's say better grades, then it should be done if you have a very, very cold appreciation of the situation. But later in the upper school, it is not possible. And if the grade is the single criteria, and the grade represent the way a child conform to the request, not his progress, not his own way of achieving different levels and so on. If the grade is just appreciating how you match the standards and the expectations, then for dyslexic it's a tragedy. What I would say from my own experience, I don't know if I'm the person to give advices, but opinions, let's say. I was, as student, I was the dream of any teacher. I learned so easily that I only opened the book and I knew everything. This is not because I'm more intelligent than others. I have this easy way of learning. Contrary, my child was the opposite of me. And you can imagine what I had to face. And I know a lot of parents who have to who have this challenge. There are many parents who have a high level, academic level. They know their children are intelligent. We can observe it before the psychologist is giving us an evaluation with the IQ. We know the child is intelligent. We know it from the very first moment. But then we have to face this challenge that no matter how much we work with the child, no matter the education we can give him, the love, the support, everything, next day in school, it can be a tragedy. This month, in 23rd of October, we will have the National Festival of Theatre, and we will have the first play, theatre play in Romania about dyslexia. I wrote the text together with an actress, a colleague of me in my theater, and she directed the play. And the most there were some performances, and I observed the public. The most emotional moment is when the mother, which is representing my own experience, is telling a monologue, and she says like that, if someone could understand how much we worked until late in the evening. I worked with him for humanistic, for literature, for languages, for geography, and so on. His father worked with mathematics, and we went together to the school early in the morning with so much confidence, and this time we will succeed. This time we will succeed because we checked everything functioned. And then I'm waiting, so she says, the character says, and he's going to school with his all his expectations. And then comes the moment when courses are finished, all children go out happy with their grades, with their success, and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, and at the end is one boy coming out, keep bringing the whole sadness of the world with him. He failed again, and then we go home, and I support him because we know next day we have to restart from the very beginning. This is the reality of parents, and this is why I say that no one is just right, not the parent, not the teacher, but they should know each other, what happens with the other, what is facing the teacher when he's dealing with this dilemma. Should she give a higher grade even if the exercise was not 10 exercise? Should she give a lower degree grade? What happens with the child? What happens with the peers? What will they? This is the dilemma and the problem, the challenge of the teacher. On the other hand is that mother or father or grandmother who brings to school this kind of child, this dyslexic child, with all the expectations, and then go back with that grade that she could or he could obtain. This is a dilemma, and it's very difficult to be solved. I think, and I really think this project is a very special project because it brought together teachers and parents. Some of the teachers are also have the double position as parents of dyslexic. Some are quite dyslexic, and the meeting is, in my opinion, the most important thing because we can share experiences, and maybe from this change of information and emotions, we can find a solution. Maybe not for the whole society, but at least a group of people will find a better solution for this kind of children. And of course, speaking about grades, maybe one day the school will understand. I mean, when I speak about school, I mean about the system. Will understand that, as my daughter said, grammar is not life. Grades are not life. Sorry, I'm also emotional because, you know, this is our life. That was.
Thank you very much, Angela. It was really inspiring. And actually, I think when people have experiences to share, it's even better, and it helps even other people to understand even better on how we can help and contribute to such topics. I think it was a great end of the webinar today. Thank you all for your contribution, your questions.
I
Yes.
think that there is a lady, Bonducci Lina, that she would like to.
Sorry.
Okay. Hello to everyone from me. Yes, I just raised the hand because very, very briefly, I would like to share my experience with a dyslexic student that I had about 4 or 5 years ago, because it was very emotional what we all heard, and I'd like to add to that. There was this boy, I had him in the 5th grade, and he was so good at speaking, so good, but so bad at writing, really. And when I got this class, the teacher before me, we try to, you know, exchange information about students before we go into a class. You all know that, right? So she said, well, you know, this boy, he can't really do it. You know, he needs a lot of help and things like that. Anyway, when I got into the class and he started speaking, oh my God, he was great. When we got to the first dictation, oh my God, he was lousy. What could I do? I gave him a 10 in the grades, because we are talking about grades. I gave him a 10, and it was with all my heart, and he was so happy and so much stronger after that. So to the primary teachers, to us, my advice, let's say, if I am in a position to give advice, is not to be afraid to give a 10 to these children, because they deserve it. Their effort is so much higher than the rest of the children. And I think that it is in our hands to empower them. And I don't think that it's a problem with the other children and what they're going to think. They can think whatever they like. I mean, if when we are in the class, we don't show any, you know, we are favoring anyone, then it is in our hands to give the grade that we believe each child deserves. That's all. Okay, thank you for listening.
Thank you, Lina, for sharing. Anything else to add?
I want to add something. For the Greek teachers, I just want to remind them that the next days they will receive an email about the workshops, the exact names and dates, and the schools that the workshops will take place. So check your emails, because you will receive some extra information about Lexis. And I want to thank everyone for their cooperation.
Yes, thank you, everyone. And as Vangelia said, more information will be shared, I think, to all participants. And also, if you want any information, you have probably our contact details, so you can ask us for anything you want. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice evening.
Thank you.